You tell yourself it's nothing. Just a late reply, a messy room, too many tabs open, one more errand, one more notification, one more thing you forgot. But by the end of the day, your mind feels crowded in a way that doesn't match what actually happened. And that's the strange part. It's not one major crisis that steals your peace. It's the small things, the tiny frictions, the unfinished thoughts, the low-grade pressure that never fully leaves your body. You're not falling apart. You're still functioning. You answer people. You show up. You keep going. But somewhere under all of that, your nervous system is quietly bracing for impact. And after a while, you stop calling it stress. You start calling it your personality. It shows up in everyday ways. You get irritated faster than you used to. You feel strangely exhausted by simple decisions. You reach for your phone without even meaning to. You leave small tasks unfinished, not because they're hard, but because your mind already feels full. Even rest doesn't feel clean anymore. You sit down to relax, but part of you is still scanning for what you forgot, for what might go wrong, for what still needs your attention. This is what chronic microstress looks like. Not dramatic panic, not a breakdown, just a constant drip of mental demand that teaches your body to stay slightly activated all the time. And the mind adapts to repetition. If you go through enough small stressors without full recovery, your brain stops treating them like separate moments. It starts grouping them into a single message. Something is always wrong. That's when peace starts to feel unnatural. Not because you don't want it, but because your system has gotten used to tension as the background setting. What makes this harder is that the small things are easy to brush off. You don't think a cluttered kitchen matters. You don't think an unread email matters. You don't think being interrupted 6 times in an hour matters. But psychologically, these moments aren't neutral. Each one creates what cognitive science calls a load on attention, a small open loop, a loose thread in the mind. And the brain hates loose threads. It keeps a quiet tab open for each one, not always consciously, but metabolically. Your attention gets fragmented, your working memory gets crowded, and your nervous system starts acting like a smoke alarm that's become too sensitive, not because the house is burning, but because it's been exposed to too much heat for too long. That's why tiny inconveniences can suddenly feel personal. Why a small change of plans can make you feel disproportionately overwhelmed. Why you can look calm on the outside while your inner world feels 1 inch away from snapping. This is not weakness. It's accumulation. And that changes everything. Because once you understand that, you stop asking, why am I overreacting? And you start asking, how many small things has my system been carrying without release? A lot of your stress isn't coming from the size of the problem. It's coming from the absence of closure. The brain loves prediction. It loves knowing what happens next. So when life becomes a series of interruptions, ambiguities, and unfinished cycles, your body doesn't get the signal that it's safe to power down. A simple way to picture this is to imagine your mind as a desk. Each unresolved task, each emotional residue, each tiny irritation is one more object placed on it. At first, it still works. Then gradually, you lose space to think. And eventually, even one more pencil feels like too much. That's why peace is not just the absence of noise. It's the presence of enough inner space. And that space has to be rebuilt on purpose. The first shift is to stop treating all stress like one category. Not everything needs the same response. Some things need action. Some need a decision. Some need to be emotionally acknowledged. If your friend's text is bothering you, name the actual tension. Are you hurt, guilty, uncertain? or just overstimulated. When you label the real experience, the brain stops wasting energy trying to solve the wrong problem. The second shift is to reduce invisible open loops. Write things down immediately, not because you're becoming more productive, but because you're clearing mental clutter out of working memory. If you remember you need to book an appointment, don't rehearse it all day. Put it somewhere your brain trusts. That act alone tells your system, this has a place now. The third shift is to create tiny completion rituals. Close one tab, wash one dish, answer one message. Not to control your whole life, but to teach your brain what closure feels like again. Completion is calming because it restores prediction. It gives the nervous system a clean ending. The fourth shift is to protect transitions. Most people underestimate how stressful it is to move from one role to another without pause. Work to home, task to task, conversation to conversation. Give yourself 60 seconds between modes. Breathe, stand still, look out a window. That small pause acts like a psychological doorway. It tells the mind that moment ended. This one is different, and maybe that's the deeper truth. Peace is rarely stolen all at once. It's usually crowded out by too many tiny demands, too many inner tabs, too little space between one thing and the next. So no, you're not broken. You may just be living with a system that never gets enough signal that it can unclench. And once you see that, the goal changes. You stop chasing a perfect, stress-free life. You start building a life with fewer loose threads. A life your mind can actually finish inhabiting. And sometimes peace begins there. Not in some grand breakthrough, but in the quiet moment when your body realizes, for the first time all day, that nothing is pulling at you right now, and it lets go.